We're finally here. The NCAA tournament has been decided.
Yes, sir.
There are a couple teams in here that I did not expect to see. Cough, cough, Oregon State. Cough, cough, Georgetown. Congrats to them for being bid stealers. Thank goodness that it didn't steal a bid away from Syracuse. I am sorry, Louisville fans. But I'm also not sorry because you're Louisville fans.
Colorado State and Louisville fans.
I don't care
Those
about
are
either
the
of those
first
fan
two of the
bases.
first four.
I don't really care about either of those two teams. I mean, I don't like Florida. I don't like Louisville. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do these by region. We're going to do the first four as, like, kind of the first region. So we'll do the first four with the first region, which will be the West. So let's start with Texas Southern versus Mount St. Mary's. Texas Southern, because I know them more. I'm going with Texas Southern. Honestly, this one's just... These first two, I think, are toss-ups. But give me Texas Southern, I guess. Wait, no. That's the wrong bracket.
Yeah, for me, it'll probably be along the lines of, like, the same thing. That's the wrong game. Where is it on here? Gosh, yeah. Oh, there it is. But Texas Southern is the team that has the better record. They were, gosh, where is the record? They don't have the record on here? Cal. But they
which app are you on?
It's the March Madness app. Do they have it on ESPN? Whatever.
They have the records on, they have the records. Texas Southern is 16-8. Mount St. Mary's is 12-10. Yeah, I'm taking Texas Southern.
Yeah, Texas Southern has a record of 16-8. Or good old Mount St. Mary's has a record of 12-10. Texas Southern has the better record. I have not watched either one of these teams. I don't really care. Texas Southern wins. Winner of this plays Michigan, so I'll just watch for the heck of it.
They'll probably get buzzsawed.
We'll get demolished.
App State, Norfolk State. The winner plays Gonzaga. Norfolk State 16-7. Appalachian State 17-11. I'm gonna pick Norfolk State out of spite. I'm just picking Norfolk State out of spite because screw Appalachian State.
Honestly, this is definitely a toss-up game for me. I look at Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's, and I'm like, how is Mount St. Mary's in a tournament? But Norfolk Appalachians should be really honestly being a decent game. Not that I watched either one of them play, but it's Norfolk State and Appalachian State. They both are known for upsets, so I mean. I'm not frozen now. Okay.
You're back. We're good.
Okay, but I will pick Norfolk State.
Out of spite.
Yeah, probably.
Now we go to a very fun game, Michigan State versus UCLA. The biggest deciding factor is, does Aaron Henry's teammates show up? If Aaron Henry's teammates don't show up, I think UCLA slips out with a win. But I think Langford will play decently well. You might see Watts off the bench again, get a little bit of performance. Hauser obviously is decent. I think it's a toss-up between these two teams, but I think I'll give it to the Spartans. They've just been playing better basketball and have played better teams. So I'll give it to the Spartans in a close one.
I don't know if the committee decided to I don't know if the selection committee actually planned this to happen, because it seems a little too coincidental to be a coincidence. It seems a little too coincidental to me. Obviously, UCLA is a big time basketball program, and so is Michigan State. They both have won multiple tournament championships. So this is going to be an incredible game. I don't want to pick against the Spartans because of how well they've been playing and how many times UCLA has just not looked good this year, and they play in the Pac-12. So I'm taking the Spartans in what should be probably, I think, one of the better games of the tournament.
Even though I really don't want to. Wait.
Yeah.
Hang on. What happened here? Wichita State, not Appalachian State again. Drake versus Wichita State. Again, I mean, Drake is 25-4. Wichita State's 16-5 in a better conference. Beat Houston. Give me Wichita State. Honestly, in a close one. It might not be too close, but give me the team that's shown that they can beat teams. They can beat good teams. Not that Drake hasn't, but not as nice of wins as Wichita.
Drake and Wichita State were the last two teams to make it in the NCAA tournament. Michigan State was the first of the last four in.
Yeah.
Then UCLA was 2, Wichita State was 3, and Drake was the last team to make it in the NCAA tournament. I watched Drake play Loyola Chicago once. That was that really awful overtime game when it was 51-50. So I was not impressed by Drake at all. I mean, they play in the Missouri Valley Conference. There's not a lot of competition. 25-4 is a pretty good record. Wichita State is a regular season winner of the AAC at 16-5. As weird as that sounds, they actually beat out Houston. I'm going with Wichita State to win, I think, decently comfortably. I think Drake will make it close early, but I'm picking Wichita State to pull away late and end up knocking off the Drake Bulldogs.
And now we move to the West region. Get ready, because someone's bracket is a little crazy in this region. A little crazy. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not crazy. It's a little crazy. All right, Gonzaga, Norfolk State. Give me Gonzaga. That one. I'm sorry. I don't care how you think about Gonzaga. They will not lose to Norfolk State.
Whether it's Norfolk State or Appalachian State, as funny as it would be to see one of those two beat Gonzaga, they are not. Gonzaga will bomb them by at least 30. Give me Gonzaga.
Oklahoma, Missouri. Honestly, Oklahoma and Missouri are kind of the tale of very similar teams. Had really good starts of the season. Oklahoma really actually got going in the middle of the season. Missouri, a little early in the season. And then they started kind of trailing off late to fall down to the 8-9 line. Give me the Sooners in a close one. I really like them. And setting up a great matchup in the second round against Gonzaga and Oklahoma.
I think this is a very, very low seed for Oklahoma. I think they're a lot better than this, and I am a big Sooner believer. I love their roster. I've watched them play, and I've seen them play very, very well. And if they continue to do that, they're a very dangerous team in March. Missouri, I think, is the exact same way. Obviously, like you said, both of those teams had great starts. Okay, yeah.
Oklahoma was in the middle. They were kind of started in the middle.
In any case, they both caught fire at some point during the year, and eventually they couldn't hold on to it, and they lost a couple games towards the end and dropped them down a couple seeds. I thought Oklahoma would end up with a 6 at least, and instead they get to an 8, which I think is an incredibly low seed. But this is a great game. I think Oklahoma will pull it off by, I'll say a couple points, maybe like 7 or 6. I think they'll knock off Missouri in what will be a fun and closely contested game.
For this next round, I'm gonna let Mitch explain it. Well, I already put his pick in because as everybody that has been with us for a while knows, it is physically impossible for Mitch to pick Creighton. He will never pick Creighton.
I am not I do not like Creighton whatsoever. I've seen them play. They're very inconsistent. To me, I think they're essentially the Iowa of the Big East. And obviously they are nothing like the Iowa Hawkeyes. They don't have nearly the offense or nearly the defense. But they play in the Big East, so they are the Iowa of the league. But Creighton is not very special. They're so inconsistent. and inconsistent teams come March is not a good thing. UC Santa Barbara has had a very good season. Not that I've watched them, but is a 12 versus 5. There's always a 12 versus 5 upset with one of those teams you've never heard of before beating some big team. I think UC Santa Barbara will pull off the win. The next round is going to be a toss-up, but I think Santa Barbara will sneak out with a surprising win.
I don't trust UC Santa Barbara. Give me Creighton.
The
only reason
Bansky will be the realist. I'll be the bold one.
the only reason I was even considering picking against Creighton was because of what happened in the Big East Championship. That was bad.
That was big.
That was bad. That was bad.
If they had actually beaten Georgetown, I would pick Creighton. They did not. They got hammered.
Yeah. Virginia, Ohio. Honestly, in a regular game, I would pick Virginia. But with half of their team being quarantined right now, just wrong time to get the virus. If they do show up, I don't expect them to get far. I don't expect them to even get past the first round. I think Ohio pulls an upset on a depleted Virginia team.
And I'm going the same way. If Virginia had a healthy team, I think they go on to like the Elite Eight, Sweet 16. But their team's not healthy. They have COVID problems. As Tony Bennett said, their entire team is in quarantine right now, and they can't even go to Indianapolis until Friday. Which, by the way, is when the first round starts. So they might not even be able to really practice on a court until they get there. So you show up and play, which is not good for when you're about to play a tournament game in the postseason. So as much as I want to pick Virginia because, well, their defense just gives opposing offenses nightmares.
Syracuse played really well against their defense, though. They scored almost 70 points, which, for those of you who watched the ACC video, I was not that far off, okay? I made a bold claim, and I was a terrible 3. I was a buzzer beater away from having that game go into overtime, but that was a good game. Proving that you can score against them.
But normal circumstances, I'd pick Virginia. This is not normal circumstances. This is not a normal year. It's not a normal season. I pick Ohio to pull off will be another shocking upset in the West.
Yep. USC, Wichita State. Honestly, I kind of debated picking Wichita State to go in the upset, but give me the Mobley brothers in a close one. I just don't trust you. The same way you don't trust Creighton, I don't trust USC. That's just, I don't know why. I don't trust USC. I never will. Ever. In any sport. But I'll pick them to beat Wichita.
USC, the only reason I like USC is because it's Evan Mobley and Isaiah Mobley. They have the Mobley brothers. They do have another player or two who are decent on their team. I think it should be close with Wichita State, who had a decent year in the AAC, not the ACC. I always confuse those two. I should just say American Athletic Conference.
I just say the American in general.
Oh, yeah.
I just say the American Conference.
But in any case, I will pick USC to win a close one against Wichita State.
Kansas is another interesting one. Kansas, obviously, McCormick's not going to be there to start, which is huge for Kansas State. But McCormick or not, they get past Eastern Washington. They're a 3 seed. The 3 seeds rarely lose.
Yeah, I'm going the same thing. I like Kansas's team. Of course, as we said, Kansas will be missing 3 players. I forget who the other 2 they named were, but one of them is David McCormick, which is a massive issue for Jayhawk. Obviously, David McCormick has been going insane for the last half of the season here for Kansas and has really pretty much sparked their team. So that's a huge loss for them. It's not going to impact their game against Eastern Washington. They'll beat Eastern Washington at least.
All right. My second upset. One of my second upsets. This is a toss-up. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to throw the toss-up in favor of the upsetter. I don't trust Pac-12 teams, so give me VCU in a close upset against Oregon. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go either way. It's March Madness, but I'll give the toss-up game to the upsetter.
Yeah, I think this should be a decent game too by like Dan Altman. He's a great head coach for the Oregon Ducks. And great head coaches figure out ways to win. So I pick Oregon to knock off VCU. Not in the second round, but they'll knock off VCU. They might give Iowa a challenge, but they're not going to give them much.
Iowa? GCU, baby. No, I'm just kidding. My friend, I have so many friends that go to my church that go to GCU, right? Like, literally half of our church is... Our young adults group is GCU people. Literally everybody was like, you better pick, I know you have a sports podcast, you better pick GCU on there to pick Iowa. I'm sorry, guys, I love you. But I'm going to have to go with Iowa on this
GCU
one.
is Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon University. I pass GCU all the time going to Dylan's house to play basketball. A lot of friends that go there. It's a great university, but... they're going to run into the buzzsaw of Luka Garza. Mitch is frozen again. That just proves it enough. Iowa wins. Oh, he's back. Iowa wins easy.
Oh, yeah, nice picture of my smile.
Iowa wins easy. I'm sorry, GCU fans. I love you guys, but... literally my friend was like, we're in the dance. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll text you tomorrow when the bracket is revealed if you have a chance or not. And then I saw they were playing Iowa. I'm like, I am so sorry, you guys. I was really hoping you guys would be a 12 or 13 seed. Now it's your turn to pick who I think you're... I've already placed it because I already know who you're going to pick.
Where are we starting with Gonzaga?
Oklahoma? Oh, no. I was just saying to pick... You're going to pick Iowa. Never mind. He picks Iowa. We're moving on.
Oh.
Yeah, number 1 Gonzaga versus number 8 Oklahoma. See, again, this is where Mitch and I disagree. It's a very close game. I think it could go either way. I love the Sooners, and I like the Bulldogs. But... I think I'm gonna go with the higher seed here, and I think I'm gonna go with Gonzaga in a close one. I just can't rightfully pick a team that lost to Kansas State late in the year. That's my. If they didn't lose that game to Kansas State, I think I might take this upset. But this is gonna be a fun game. This is gonna be probably the best game of the second round. One of the best games of the second round.
And I can see why you would pick Gonzaga. Most people would, but I'm bold. I like chaos, and so I'm picking Oklahoma to pull off probably one of the biggest upsets of probably the tournament, beating Gonzaga. Everyone loves Gonzaga, and I get it. They always pull like insane years. No one wants to see them win because, hey, they're undefeated. It's the Oklahoma. Did you see what they did early in the year? If they do that again, they will beat Gonzaga, I think, easy.
Yeah,
but
I mean, not even that.
I love Oklahoma's team. Davion Harmon, Austin Reeves. They have so many great playmakers on that team. It's very hard to beat Oklahoma if they're playing at their best. Mm-hmm. Missouri is a great warm-up game for this team going into what will be
He's dying
again. So I'm picking Oklahoma to pull off a shocker. It's probably isn't that likely to happen, but if Gonzaga does not play well, I think Oklahoma can definitely pull it off.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen. Like I said, probably going to be one of the best games of the second round. For me, it's going to be Creighton, Ohio, and for me, I'm going to take Creighton. I still don't trust Creighton too much, especially after the Georgetown loss, but it's Ohio. Screw it.
It's Ohio. It is, so the Ohio Bobcats.
Yep, that's me. So I'm going to take Creighton, and now you've got UC Santa Barbara versus Ohio. Oh my gosh, your second round,
my Sweet 16
your Sweet 16 is going to be Oklahoma versus a 12 or a 13 seed. I told you guys his bracket for the West is chaos.
It's a little, just a little bit.
All right, who you got in this one?
Honestly, I'm probably going to change. Oh no, I'm sticking with UC Santa Barbara.
Yes, sir. The Guachos. The Guachos.
In a battle of two low seeds, I think UC Santa Barbara pulls it off, which should be a great game. Not that anyone's gonna watch it.
We're just gonna zoom in for years, just because. We're gonna go out. Okay. Oh. A little too far out. Okay.
There you go.
You got the Guachos. All right. So now the next round for both of us, Kansas, USC. I believe we differ again here. I think even without McCormick, Creighton or USC is my Creighton. Give me Kansas to advance to the Sweet 16 over USC.
Yeah, this is where we go different ways again. USC. I mean, I love Kansas. I think they're a very good team. Without David McCormick, they're completely different. I like Marcus Garrett. He's a decent player. They have some decent players on their team. NFL news is blowing up in my phone today. But maybe we'll do an NFL episode. Probably like a day from today. But USC and Kansas should be a very fun game. But I don't see who really on Kansas is going to be able to defend Evan Mobley or Isaiah Mobley if they do not have David McCormick, which I think is a game changer. And that's why I'm picking USC to move on and pull the upset of
Kansas.
Kansas team let's play.
All right.
Kansas team with David McCormick, I pick Kansas.
Yeah. So now we run into Iowa and VCU for me. Give me the Hawkeyes. Honestly, I love the Hawkeyes, so give me the Hawkeyes against VCU. And I would assume you're going to do the same against Oregon.
Iowa versus Oregon. As I said earlier, I think Oregon gives them a little bit of a challenge, but not much more. Iowa pulls off a comfortable win.
All right, into our semifinals, I have Gonzaga and Creighton. Wow, we literally have, except for Iowa, we have everything completely different. Gonzaga, Creighton. Yeah, this is where Creighton falls. Give me Gonzaga moving to the Elite Eight. Not really being challenged much. Their real big challenge is the second round. I think they easily slide by Creighton comfortably. And then you've got Oklahoma, UC Santa Barbara. Do you have UC Santa Barbara moving on?
Yeah, Elite Eight. No, I'm just kidding. Oklahoma beating UC Santa Barbara. They pull off what will be an absolute blowout.
This is like when Kansas State met UMBC. Or no, Kansas State. Didn't Kansas State beat Loyola Chicago that year?
Kansas State beat Kentucky, played Loyola Chicago, and lost in the Elite Eight.
But that was like number 8. It was like number 8.
9 versus 11.
Yeah, that's what your matchup is gonna be. I was about to say that's what that matchup is in the Sweet 16. Now for me, Iowa, Kansas. If McCormick had played in the first 2 rounds, I think I would pick Kansas. But with this being McCormick's probably first game back, I have to take the Hawkeyes. I think if McCormick can get in there a little bit earlier and play really well and get rolling, I think Kansas has a chance to pull it off. I think it'll be a close game no matter what. Because Iowa typically doesn't really blow people out of the water unless they're playing someone important, which would be Kansas. I don't know. They don't blow people out of the water. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Luka Garza and the Hawkeyes get the win there. Then for you, you've got Iowa, USC.
Yeah, USC is a decent team. I like the Mobley brothers. I don't like them against Iowa. Luka Garza is a outstanding player. He won't do anything in the NBA. He's a college player, but he's very good, and he's really the reason why Iowa keeps moving on. Also, Iowa has a very great supporting cast going around him, which is why they had an outstanding year. I'm picking Iowa to move on. They knock off USC in what should be a pretty fun game, but I think Iowa pulls away late and gets the win.
And then for me,
and also, side note, the 2, 3, and 4, if no one has recognized this, Iowa, Kansas, and Virginia, by the way. Those are the 2, 3, 4 teams in the West region, all of which have played Gonzaga and been blown out by Gonzaga. So the 2, the 3, and the 4 in the West region all have played the number 1 seed. And then Creighton sucks, and then USC is inconsistent.
This year?
Yeah, they played Virginia and Iowa all. They played the 2 to 3 and the 4 seeds all in their region. Is it not tailor-made for Gonzaga to go to the Elite Eight and then the Final Four? They're just setting it up for them.
Yeah, they are. But I think Iowa beats Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. I think it's going to be a much closer game. I think this Iowa team has gotten better and better as the season's rolled on. Gonzaga hasn't played as many teams, and they even have a pretty easy path to the Elite Eight. I feel like Iowa gets the win here in a very close one and moves on to the Final Four. And then I would assume yours is probably the same.
Mine will be Iowa versus Oklahoma. And yes, it will be the same result. Iowa will knock off the Sooners. I do like Oklahoma, as you probably have figured out by now already. But I'm still picking Iowa. I like the Hawkeyes team. They're a lethal offense, which is very hard to shut down, unless you're Michigan. But
apparently.
It's very hard to shut down the Hawkeyes. Not many teams have. Not many teams will. Oklahoma's not one of those teams. They're very good. This is where their pretty good run ends. I think they get to Elite Eight and then run into an Iowa buzzsaw running into the Final Four, which is where the Hawkeyes are really looking to go.
Yes, sir. Well, that was the West region. We will be back in our next video with the East region. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a happy March.